it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
It's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a
this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it.
Wow.
I know, right? Welcome to another episode of Dark.
Dark Man. Are you Dark Man today?
I don't know what's going on with my lighting. This is crazy. Let me try this.
Ooh, that boy is a race.
I can light myself up just so y'all can see this mess.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I honestly don't know why my lighting is so effing bad.
Do you have the overhead light on?
No,
I
you
do
don't.
Put that on.
All right, hold on a second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Welcome, everyone, to
Hey,
the show. Thank you so much for joining us for another fun-filled packed week. It's coming on for head-to-head. As we adjust to lighting issues, let me just welcome. This is Lori Parker. I am the producer, and I got CJ Jones. CJ Jones, how are you doing?
What up, Lolo?
That's a little
I'm
better.
just here.
You're still Dark Man, but we can see you now.
Slightly
Better.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Mrs. T and TBS was just helping me out with my lighting too. So you're not the only one. This whole StreamYard and the 3-point lighting thing, I literally have the light in my face just so you guys could see me.
I think he needs like a spider or something that's right there.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm saying that. Like I can feel the heat off of my light, off my forehead, the right and the left.
Well, CJ, and I thought it was just your warm personality, not the heat from the lamp. So, I just thought it was that. But
man, I appreciate it. But this I love StreamYard, but the lighting requirements are something else that's needed, and that's why whenever I do Elephant Exposed, I do all of my recording, all of that stuff. I do it on Zoom, and then I'll share it to everything else because I don't have studio lighting.
Well, just as we're fixing on the lighting, if you could just let us know or let everyone know about when Elephant Exposed is taking place, so that we can sit here and to join, and we can sit there and support you.
Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to plug myself. I just restarted the second season.
Yay, second season. Woohoo!
Yeah, Elephant Exposed. My very first show I just did just last week. And I was a bit emotional, but I was just so flooded with thoughts about there you go.
Yeah,
I was just so flooded with thoughts about what was going on in entertainment news and what's going on with DeSantis down in Florida and the Board of Education, what they doing. And then, of course, you got, just this whole, like, people just want to put their head in the sand when it comes to real life issues. And so that's what Elephant Exposed is about. You can catch me weekly for your updates. I have not decided on a particular scheduled date this particular season. So what I'll do is that I will record as I go. As a matter of fact, I'm going to record a little bit later on tonight, but I'll probably will schedule it. Yeah, but I'll probably will schedule it for Tuesday. I'm looking at Tuesday to be my actual day that I'm going to actually put it out to Facebook, YouTube, and I'm thinking about going to Instagram, maybe. But
Wow.
but Facebook and YouTube is definitely going to be my two platforms. I'm gonna try to mix it up a little bit, try to throw some humorous stuff in there. So if you are a Facebook person, you can actually join my Elephant Exposed group on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
I just put little funny stuff out there because I mean, to talk about heavy stuff all the time takes a toll on the podcaster. So I try to implement some humor in there too every now and then to lighten up the mode a little bit, and then we get back to more serious topics. I see that I won't be the only one that's going to cover this particular topic tonight, but I am going to be talking about the K9 situation that happened in Ohio. So I got a lot to say. So if you want to hear what I want to, what my thoughts and opinions on it, and I am a former police officer, stand by for Tuesday's release, and like, share, subscribe.
Well, that's
Thank you.
great, CJ, and thank you so much. And we'll definitely, for all of our viewers, to make sure that you do catch Mr. CJ Jones, Mr. TBNS, and Elephant Exposed. Now, I can actually welcome our host extraordinaire, the one who makes everything happen, Mr. Brian Parker. How are you doing today?
He funny.
I can't hear you.
Okay, well, maybe if I use my voice.
Okay,
exactly. I can say he was playing with you. You should have
your
known
inner
that.
voice. Got it.
So yeah, this is Brian Parker, and I am he. And we are here for another episode of Head to Head. Just like Lori said, thank you, Lori, for all of that. You can always catch us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Please go to Amazon Fire TV and the Roku channel. As not only do we have Head to Head with Brian Parker, but we also have plenty of short films, full-length films, as well as other talk shows, podcasts, et cetera, for you to be able to choose from. And especially now with the SAG after strike going down the way that it is, you may run out of TV programming. And if those reruns ain't hitting like they used to, certainly jump over to our Roku channel and check out all of the different things that we have on there. Hell, I would even tell people, they say, hey, Brian, what can we do to really help? Tubi is a really, really, really good channel. It hosts a lot of independent filmmakers and their works. A lot more independent filmmakers are finding that not just putting their work on YouTube makes sense anymore, but they're literally pulling their work off of YouTube and putting it with Tubi. I've got a friend of mine that's a filmmaker up in New Jersey, Mo Paramore, and he's got 4 films currently running on Tubi right now. I believe one is called Kodak, one is Regrets, and he's gonna kill me because I can't think of the other 2 right now, but they're very good films. Another friend of mine that's a filmmaker in New Bern, North Carolina, give her some props. She just had her premiere of her follow-up to her first film called The Crossover. The Crossover is currently on Tubi. She just had a red carpet premiere for Crossover 2, The Revenge. And it actually Crossover 2, I'm trying to get her on the show, but Bobby Brown was actually one of her executive producers for this, along with his wife. And she has Jamal Woolard Gravy reprising his role. If that name sounds familiar, but you can't think about it, think about that movie Biggie that came out with Derek Luke when he played Puff Daddy, and the guy that played Big, his name is Jamal.
Jamal Woodford.
Okay.
Jamal Woodford or Wolford. Willard, I guess. But I know his first name is Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal, but they call him Gravy. So Jamal Gravy. But Gravy came back. I know Clifton Davis is in it. There's a couple of names in it. He had Mendices. She had Mendices in the first one, and a couple of other folks. Chandra I can't think of Chandra's last name. She was always in the Medea films too. So, a couple of faces that you would recognize, sprinkled in with a lot of new faces and everything. She's a local filmmaker in New Bern, North Carolina. That's near the coast, and she shot it all in that area and everything. So, uh, really, really up and coming filmmakers that are putting their works on Tubi. In addition to my chocolate films, Clover Ford and her team, you
Oh
also have
Jesus.
yes, said Jesus, right? Oh, he saw Jesus. And right, okay, okay.
Yes,
Well,
yes, we were.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. If Jesus just walked through my door, I would do the exact same thing. Um, but but my chocolate films with Clover Ford, they also have season one of Hopeless Romantic, the web series up on Tubi as well. A lot of different things are up on Tubi to be able to look at, in addition to regular network TV. Like I said, right now with the writer strike and SAG-AFTRA laying it down right now, a lot of the programs that normally come out in the fall, they're going to get pushed into 2024. A lot of the movies that were slated for 2024 are already being paused until 2025. So it's going to dry up really, really fast. And hopefully that bodes well for the actors. Again, I just want to reiterate to everybody that didn't hear it the first 10 times I said it, because I was listening to a friend of mine's podcast over the weekend. And one of the ladies she does a podcast with says the same thing. So I know it's a common thought that why are rich people arguing with other rich people over money? And that's because most people assume that when you talk about Screen Actors Guild, you're talking about Brad Pitt, you're talking about Samuel L. Jackson, you're talking about Matt Damon, you're talking about Christian Bale. No, that's not who we're talking about in SAG-AFTRA. There are over 160,000 actors that are part of that union. The majority of them are not the A-list stars that you think about. There are other people that when they aren't working, they're waiting tables, they're bussing tables, they're driving Lyft and Uber, they're doing other gigs just to be able to pay the bills. These are folks that are not getting $10 million to do a film. These are folks that may, at the very most, get paid when you do a television series. A lot of times, the most they may pay you is $1,100 a week. Um, but when you're not working, there is no $1,100 a week. What the actors are fighting for, yes, they're fighting for better pay. Um, who isn't, right? So they're fighting for better pay, but there's some other things that are going on too. Number one, SAG-AFTRA hadn't had a strike in a very, very long time. They've really tried to be very flexible and everything, but it is time for the actors to get better pay. Another thing that's going on with SAG-AFTRA is you got to realize that these actors have to make, I think it's $24,000 a year just to be able to qualify for health benefits for SAG-AFTRA. So for them to even get regular health care, they have to at least make so much per year to be able to do that. The other thing is that whether you realize it or not, and I've been in episodes in New York now, and I didn't realize it when I first started acting that when you're watching Law and Order and you see Ice-T and Mariska Hargitay and they're walking down the street talking and everything, and all these people are going by them, and it just looks like they're just engulfed in the city of New York, and passerbys are just carrying on with their day-to-day lives and not even recognizing, oh my God, that's Ice-T. Oh my God, that's Mariska Hargitay. That the reason that they're not really paying them any mind is because they are getting paid not to pay them any mind. All of those people crossing the street, walking by them, cars going by, all of that is staged. Those are background actors that production companies pay to come in and fill those roles. So these are not, and the reason being is that movie sets and film crews cannot use your likeness without your permission. So they can't just have regular people walking in front of their films because they're not paid. The only other time that they can get away with that is they will post posters and flyers around the set to say, if you stumble into this set and you get filmed, we are not liable or responsible if you do not wish to have your face ending up on some series because maybe you in New York and you told your wife you was going to visit your sick mama in Florida. That we're not going to be responsible for your court proceedings where they have to then sit there and help you out of divorce court. So they will put those disclaimers up, but for the most part, they try to section off the set so they don't run into that. I've been on sets before where my car was used as a prop, and they pay you extra to do that. So even your own vehicle, because why? They may capture the license plate by mistake. And again, don't want your wife to see your car was in downtown Charlotte and you told her you had a meeting in Chicago. You know, that's why they do those things. So anyway, so the actors are, of course, fighting for pay, but there's a thing with all these background actors. I have a lot of friends in New York that do background CJ 6-7 days a week. That's all they do. That's how they make their living. They probably get paid about $120 a day to do background work. And it's normally anywhere between 8 to 10 hour days. I've been on some sets, we were there for 14 hours. Anything over 10 hours as a background non-union actor, you do get overtime, time and a half, but you got to be there for at least 10 hours. If you are a union employee, it is after 8 hours and you get paid more if you're a union employee. I think it's up to about, in New York now, this is just New York. Georgia has different prices, but in New York, I think it's about 160, 170 bucks now per day, per 8 hours rather. Anything over that, but there's more benefits. If you have to smoke cigarettes, if you're in a smoking area, if you're in an area with loud noises where they're shooting guns, flashbangs, things like that, they will pay you bump prices for that kind of stuff. If it rains on you, they'll pay you for that. Being a union, if you're a non-union employee, everything I just said, tough. You don't get anything for that. The other thing that they're really fighting over is artificial intelligence has really, really come on the scene in a big way. And what a lot of these production companies are wanting to do in an attempt to make even more money and keep it to themselves is they want to be able to use artificial intelligence to take a background actor, scan them, pay them for 1 day of work, and use their likeness in perpetuity till the end of time. And there are no residuals that will come back to that background actor. So they will use your likeness and as many productions as they want over and over and over, and will have only paid you one time for 1 day's of work, which would put so many background actors out of work because they wouldn't have to be used again because they have you stored in a database. And they'll just use a bunch of green screens and CGI to put people that used to walk beside Ice-T and Mariska Hargitay, and now they'll just be computer-generated images walking by them instead because they recorded your likeness months ago.
Right. Yeah, that ain't right.
That ain't right at all. Right. Yeah, so that's what they're striking
Listen,
over.
Unless you're gonna work a royalty clause in there some type of way,
they don't want to do that. Yeah,
bro. Listen, come on now. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like all this gaslighting stuff, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't. Can I just?
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I'm all about people making profit with their business. I call it baseline capitalism.
Yeah.
But now this is just greed, bro.
It is straight greed.
It's just greed. Mm-hmm. You have an overabundance of something, and you want even more. It's an insatiable. It's an insatiableness to the almighty dollar.
It is,
regardless as to how you. Come on, man. And like you said, these are not A-list people. They're not even B-list people.
Correct.
This is everyday people that just want to see themselves on the screen. Look, babe, you see me in the background? That's me right now.
Yeah.
You
see my ear, you see my nose. Yeah. You see my forehead right
know what I'm saying? Watch this. You saw how I took that cup up, bro. You saw how I took that cup up?
Boom, boom, boom. There I go. Pause it. Take a picture. Use my iPhone.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they trying to run the dog on. Yeah.
They really are. They really
I
are.
see what you're saying. At first, honestly, B, I was completely and totally ignorant to SAG and what you guys were doing and everything. But at the same time, this is why it pays to be quiet
Yeah.
and put on your listening ears, and then let the people that know what they're talking about, let them talk about it, and then you learn.
There you
So, and this is a lot of people need to do that. It's called sit down, be quiet.
go.
Stop being so quick to throw your
But,
opinions about something.
it's easy to understand, and that's why I bring that facet of it up so much, because when we think about actors and stuff like that, we instantly think about the ones that are well off. Is the strike going to hurt those A-listers I named? Not at all. Is George Clooney going to be hurt from this strike with all the
No.
millions that he's made? Absolutely not. You know, but the folks that are struggling, and it's not only the writers. The writers are in. I mean, the writers are in the same situation because, yeah, they make a lot of money when they write a hit show, but then it may be months before another show comes up. Well, before I forget, I just wanted to shout out Sarah Parker, Jermaine Parker, and Tasha Bonaparte for joining the show. Anybody else on the show, just let us know that you're here. Jermaine did put in. I tried very hard, but I couldn't draw a line between this woman's crazy kidnapping story and racism in America. I promised to do better next time. The franchise. He couldn't be here. He's doing dad duties, I believe, at Camp North End today. So, but he will be back with us. One subject I did kind of put on hold till he comes back, so he can give us his America is racist angle on that. And we'll talk about that one next week. But I still have plenty to go over this week. But anyway, but you kind of see with the writers. Imagine this, and then you'll understand. Whatever salary it is that you make in a year, imagine getting it all at one time. But understand that's a great lump sum of money, but it still has to last you the same amount of time as if you got it every 2 weeks. So it's the same thing. So a lot of times these writers will get these payouts and things like that, but it would be basically the same as if they worked 8, 9, 10 months out of the year.
Right.
Anthony, so what was the reason for her to come up with that crazy kidnap story? We'll get to that one in a second too. I haven't heard a reason, but we'll talk about that one for sure.
Mhm.
But just to kind of put a button on this corporate greed, it's really going everywhere. You see UPS. I think they're coming up with a tentative agreement, Teamsters and all, where they're having to go back to their union and present the agreement that they came up with, but they were going for more wages. Amazon recently has been in the news for doing the same thing. So you're starting to see a lot more of these um, folks rising up against their corporate uh, companies and saying, "Hey, you guys are enjoying so much wealth and so much profits, but you're not sharing it with your employees." And I'll give you one last
Mhm.
example of that, Laura. You know, I work in hospitality and have been for the last 31 years. So I work in the hotel business, and I deal with a lot of owners now. I talk about their revenue with them and everything like that. And most of them are extremely upset because they say first thing they say to me is, uh, "Brian, I can't find anybody to work. It's too hard to find people to work." And I'll say, "Well, I think there's people out there that'll work." I said, "My question is, are you willing to pay them what they're worth?" And for so long in my industry, these owners have been so used to not paying employees a fair wage that they think that this gravy train should never end. And I think COVID really taught people that, for lack of better words, you ain't got to put up with that shit. Um, that, hey, there are other places we can go and lend our services. You know, why is a housekeeper busting her ass for $8, $9 an hour at your hotel cleaning up crap off the walls and things like that when they could go to Amazon and make a minimum of $15 an hour? How do you convince somebody to do that? But for the longest, these companies have been okay with knowing that their housekeeper has to work 40 hours a week at their hotel and then on their days off still go and clean houses to still try to make ends meet. Or as they get off of the hotel job, then they go to their second job. And by the time they see their kids, it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then they rinse and repeat and do it all over again. For years, owners in my industry have been too okay with that. And now people want quality of life where they're saying, you know what? This one job should be able to take care of my part of my responsibility to my family. It's a bigger family and it's mom and dad, not asking just one parent's salary to be able to take care of things. But when both of your salaries still can't do it, that's a problem. But these owners, these businesses, these corporations have never given two F's about how that impacts their employees. We just want production. Keep your head down, back to the mines. Don't want to hear nothing out of you. And COVID taught a lot of these people, hey, you know what? If we don't show up, your business goes to hell. How many fast food restaurants lately have you seen it where you're like, man, they used to be open a whole lot later. Why are they always closing up so early now? Because they can't get people to work. It's not that people don't want to work, people don't want to work for that. And that's the difference now. So I've told a lot of my owners on these calls, I'm like, hey, look, you guys have made out for decades with these profits, and you're still going to make a profit. I review their financials with them. They're not hurting for money at all. They're just not making as much as they used to. That's two totally different things. Not making as much as you used to and not making a profit or money is two totally different things. So a lot of these companies are really going to go through reckonings where their employees are rising up either already in a union or some are starting to form unions. And the South better get hip to it because the South isn't really known to have unions, but trust and believe they're coming and they're coming for these companies, rightfully so. Anything else on that, y'all? Anthony says, so who will fold first, the writers or the company? Well, again, it's a thing of trying to get companies to realize that the reason that you should pay taxes, the reason that you should pay your fair share is simply because it's the people that work for you that give you the opportunity for these profits that you maintain and everything else. You're the job creator, but somebody actually has to do those jobs. So you can
Mhm.
have your big production studio and all your fancy equipment and everything, but if there's no writers, if there's no background people, there's no sound people, there are no grip people, there are no actors, there's no background actors, how do you make a dollar off of that? So, Anthony, to answer your question, my hope would be the company's going to fold because they can only push so many projects down the road. Now, it has given them an excuse to cancel certain shows that weren't making money. Maybe they were fan favorites, but it really wasn't making a lot of money, and they can blame it on the actor strike and say, "Well, we had to cancel this show any more seasons because of the strike." They'll do that. They'll find a scapegoat, but that can only last so long. After a while, people will just start to tune them out, and it'll take a lot for them to get people to come back and watch their programming. So I don't think either can really afford the strike to be prolonged, but I do know that the production companies and the studios are losing hand over fist as long as these actors are in picket lines instead of on sound stages. So that's what I feel about that. Um, anyway, so first up, guys, as Anthony alluded to, what we pretty much figured was finally revealed, and that was our girl Carlee Russell uh, had to come clean and admit that the story that she concocted about seeing a toddler walking along the highway, and um, then even going as far as to come up with a story about being abducted and being held, and from being in the back of a tractor trailer, then being in a house, some lady playing in her head, and then show back up at a family's house 48 hours or 42 hours, something like that later, was all a hoax. Um, I got feelings about that, but Lori, um, play the clip. This is going to be the police department giving a press conference in follow up to a previous press conference where they say after their initial talks with Carlee, they were a little skeptical about some of the things that she said happened because it didn't make any sense. So we'll come back on the other side of this. It is almost 2 minutes long, but Lori, go ahead and play this clip.
19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing, and we helped you determine where Carlee was within the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or at any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed. 19th,
Thank you, Lord. So yeah, so there it is. And I got a couple of thoughts on that. And of course, the first one is damn. Why would you do this? There's so many people that get abducted every single day. The statistics are alarming on that. Don't have them in front of me, but there are real issues like this. And every time, and I said the same thing when the whole Jussee Smollett thing happened, that gay bashing is a real thing. People beating the hell out of people just because of their sexual orientation is a real thing. Hate is a real thing. The way people look at each other and judge each other and want to hurt each other just because they see something that doesn't represent or look like them is a real thing. So when people take those things and they pervert them for their own self-serving needs, that's really hard because it makes the next one harder to believe. Even though it shouldn't, it does. We all think that way. Think about the person that begs on the street, but then you finally see one jump in a Mercedes. And you go, see, I know they all are like that. And they're not. Most people standing on the streets begging are really in that situation. But all it takes is to see one jump in a Mercedes, and you'll sit there and attach that stigma to all of them. We do that. We all do that. And even if, when I say we all do that, it's your first instinct. Now, some of us may shake it off. No, I can't look at stuff through such a narrow scope. And we try to be a little bit more informed, or as people may say, woke. But there's other people that all it takes is that one instance to feed that narrative, and forever that narrative it will be. So, Carlee, what you have done is made people think that when a black woman says that she's been taken captive, she cannot be taken seriously. Now, the other side to that, before y'all jump in, is there could possibly be some mental health issues. She does need to be evaluated before I go all in on that. Uh, but what we have to realize is that in 2023, everybody, Doja Cat, shout out to my bald headed baby, um, has a song called Attention. And that's really what a lot of folks look for. They look for attention. They're on social media all the time. They're doing this, they're posting that. Everything is I gotta see how many people just like my last post. And now I gotta see who viewed my last post, because not only do I want to see how many people liked it, but I want to see out of the people that viewed it, how many of them liked it. Because 100 people viewed it, but only 2 of them liked it. What's going on? You know, so that's the world that a lot of people live in, is that attention grabbing. Carlee probably just under the radar. How many people before 4 weeks ago knew the name Carlee Russell? Now everybody knows her name. But it's for the wrong reason. But for a lot of people, any attention is good attention. What do y'all think?
My brother, I believe you hit the nail on the head in several places. You made several good points. Almost don't know which way I want to go with it. So I'll start with your last. All attention, every attention, any kind of attention is good attention. I believe today's generation like to call it thirsty, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But this is an extreme case of being thirsty. But it's developed by looking at I call it the now generation and how they communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hardly ever see anyone today that will actually sit beside each other, two perfect strangers, and they start what we would call back in the day just a conversation between you two. Hey, how's the weather type stuff. We don't do that anymore. And it really began to change in the South whenever most people from up north would come down. We begin to lose that Southern hospitality because of it. So it was a shift in demographics. You had that takes place in it because Lori, I believe I learned this from you and from a few other more friends of mine that are from up north, that are truly from up north, that you guys have to be in that sense of survival mode. So you don't have that whole, hey, how you doing? Because if someone starts to talk to you or whatever, they probably trying to get you some type of way. They probably trying to take advantage of you. So being a man being raised down south, that took me a while to get used to that. And because okay, everybody ain't happy go lucky, hey, how's your mama type stuff. So then you started to close off. So then we begin to be more on social media. Well, social media just like so now we're on social media. Now, like to your point, Brian, to what you're saying, I want to know who sees me, what they see. Even as a content creator / podcaster, because that's what I am. I tend to try not to fall into that trap because I feel like that the information that I'm sharing is not only factual, but it's valuable and everything. And it doesn't seem like shows like mine go anywhere. And sometimes it can get to you, but you even as a content creator, you have to look at your own self. You have to esteem yourself and say, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why do I have a show? What is it that I'm saying why do I feel like am I doing this from a selfish point of view? Like, do I just want attention like this? or am I trying to contribute to society by trying to help a certain cause get out there? You know, so that's why I developed Elephant Exposed, because I wanted for someone to be able to go to a platform like this, see a familiar face, see that, hey, here's an everyday, average day Joe, so to speak, but this person happens to have this particular expertise, so he might know what he's talking about. So let me see what he's talking about concerning things that other platforms would either try to politicize or do a one-side thing or whatever the case may be. But relating it back to what Carlee has did. Carlee, just like you said, verbatim, almost, she pushed us back. This is the ultimate case of the little boy who cried wolf. It's already hard. It's already hard for us to be believed when we're saying, hey, an injustice is happening over here, or a crime, or we are a victim of a crime. Why? Because the negative stereotype has already been put out about us to the nation, period. And not only nation, but we're talking worldwide. Like our vice president said, Kamala Harris said, she went down to do her speech down in Florida. The world knows our negative stereotype. The world knows it. So for Carlee to do something like this, she literally just solidified the negative stereotype, in addition to us being known as stupid, uneducated,
lazy,
can't talk, violent, criminals, different things like that. I just shared on my show that social experiment about how the white blind guy and the black blind guy got treated in the same way, literally within minutes of each other. They got treated so differently. Why? Because of negative stereotypes. And Carlee just added to that.
Yeah.
So in a sense, she kind of answered my question from the show that I just produced last week. This is why you still have racism and biases and preferences and all this other stuff in the year of 2023, because of that thirsty mentality. Everybody look at me. Everybody look at me, and then we're okay. We all looking at you. What do you want? And you go, hi. No, that's a crime.
Yeah.
It becomes a crime because you got people that are actually concerned.
Well, yeah, and CJ, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're absolutely right about that point, because even though Carlee did that, that impacted her family. People were searching for her. So there are other people that have been affected by this that may need counseling and other things for quite some time just to get themselves back right, because they generally feared for her life. They believed her just as much as the public did.
As so much, I believe with the information that I just gathered just off of Googling the situation really quick. I'll be honest, I did not deeply research her situation, because to me it was shady from the start. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It was.
So I mean, people were already sending money to fund the search, and if I make no mistake, they were at about 2,500 on a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Now I don't know how much the GoFundMe was, but I know that there was another website that was taking funds too, and was over $50,000-$60,000. And right now
that was the one. Okay, yeah, that was the one. And
they are refusing to refund the money.
No, you better see. That's what I'm talking about. That's where it becomes a crime. That's where it becomes a crime. You're taking in money. You have lied to officials. You have That in itself is a crime. False official statements to law enforcement. That is a crime all by itself. Yeah, you can cry and be like, you know, whatever your mental health issue is going to be. And I'm not picking at her, okay? Just like I'm not going to pick at Mitch McConnell for freezing. I'm just saying that I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. I'm not going to pick at people's actual health. Anyway. I'm not going to pick at people's actual health. But what I will say is this. It's still no excuse to drag it out. And see, this is what we also teach our children. Worth it.
Yeah.
Because if you tell one lie, you gotta tell another lie to cover that lie. And then the only thing it's going to do is get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It's not worth lying. If you just wanted attention, just say that. If mom and dad wasn't paying you no attention, if you feel like you wasn't getting likes or whatnot, I would just rather for you to do something outlandish. Well, I can't even say outlandish anymore today because everything goes. Everything is accepted. I was gonna say like
made me think about that whole thing about deeper and deeper and deeper. That's one of the clips on my OnlyFans page.
So you know what I'm saying. So I was about to say, you know, do something kind of crazy, but crazy is accepted.
Yeah.
You know, we don't even have we don't have filters anymore. We don't have censorship like that anymore. So I don't know what to tell you. If attention is what you're really seeking, or you feel like it was lacking or whatnot, but this definitely was not the way to do it. And so now, you got, and see, people want to get paid now. These lawyers and these officials and stuff like that. They're gonna be like, okay, cool, you made a mistake. Now give me the money because money makes me feel better.
Well, when you say that, and all of these different, and you can think about any of these cases out there now. I know Trump is one of the biggest ones with all the different things that he's got going on. But if you just think about all of these cases, and maybe it's just in the world of TV that we're in, but my God, you see more lawyers on the damn TV and on the cable news shows and everything. In the limelight, and you didn't used to see all of this before, where the lawyers were out front and present. But and here's the thing: people used to bash Al Sharpton for always finding the camera. Jesse Jackson for always finding the camera. They used to love. He just want to be on TV. He just want to be on TV, and he probably did. But now you got. Now, when all this stuff happened with Giuliani being in front of cameras and Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood and all these other people, Alina Habba, Joe Tacopina, all these other people now are lawyers, and now they want to be in front of the camera too for attention. They take on these cases not to just represent the client, but to become known. Michael Cohen became known because he was on TV. Scaramucci became known because he was on TV. Even Michael, what was the name? Michael Avenado or whatever his name was, and he was representing Stormy Daniels for that short.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Before he ended up going to prison for trying to steal money. All these people are TV whores, but it was funny how back in the day they used to really jump on Rev Al about that. Anthony also threw in that I was thinking she was on something, but after that interview, I don't know. We really don't know her motivation behind it. And we're not necessarily jumping on her because there could be underlying issues. But what we are really saying is that the consequences of her actions are going to carry through. And I know if the franchise was on here, this is what the franchise would have said. Man, none of that matters because people are going to sit there and not want to believe people. No way. This isn't going to be something that will deter people from doing that. If that's what they had in their minds, that's still what they're going to have in their minds. And that part is true, but it doesn't help the situation.
No, it definitely doesn't help.
Everyday life with their own biases, and they look for things to confirm their biases. That's why some people watch Fox News. That's why some people watch CNN. Some people watch MSNBC. Some people don't watch anything. Some people jump on the internet, and that's how they get their news. They consume it from places that they know it's going to feed their own bias and narratives and things like that. But what you don't want to do is give them a free one. You don't want to give them one. And that's kind of really what Carlee did, was that she just added to that whole narrative of not being able to be taken seriously.
And that's what that's what I was meaning by whenever I said she added.
She added to it.
She didn't take away. She didn't like, hey, she a legitimate situation. So and like I said, she just solidified. This is just another joke for the ones that look at us and our community.
What happened immediately when people started figuring that she wasn't telling the truth?
Bro, they started going in with Jussee. They started going in with Jussee, in the whole like versus battle. I mean, come on, bro. That was funny. I can't lie. I laughed. Like when I saw that, I was like, man, is it too soon? Nah.
I mean, I already knew it was obviously satire. And even in some of the most serious things, there are certain things you would never touch, Holocaust, slavery, things like that. But and we kind of get close to that sometimes with some of the Django memes, probably. But you can kind of poke fun at it because it's satire, and you kind of get the inferences and stuff from it, and it's that kind of thing. So the Jussee Smollett, Carlee Russell meme versus absolutely hilarious. The internet is totally undefeated. You can always rely on the internet to come up with stuff. It's coming up on football season, so I know I'm going to have plenty of cowboy memes coming. I already know. I've already seen a bunch of them. I just ain't started sending them out yet, CJ, but some of them are just so hilarious. It's crazy.
Some of them I do laugh at. Some of them do make me laugh. Like,
I saw one where the guy had his golf cart and he said that it keeps cutting off because his choke is broken. So he put a cowboy star on it, and now it chokes all the time.
Oh my god!
That's hilarious.
Okay. I cannot get mad. Okay. So here's the thing: if most people took my attitude towards like I have towards the Cowboys, I think we would be all right as society.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have thick skin. You gotta be ready to take your lumps and stuff and everything. But it's fine. I don't play for the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, bring on the memes, bring on the jokes. I can take it. Hey, I laugh at them. Because I mean, especially when it's true, because that's when it's mostly funny.
Yeah.
Now, if you say something that's a little far-fetched, I'm like, okay, y'all reaching.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if it's within that realm of truth, then you almost have to laugh at something because it is true.
Right, and that's what makes it funny.
That's not even relevant or related. Where y'all even pulling this from? So, Lori, I know you probably had some thoughts on the whole Carlee Russell thing too, right?
I did, and basically, she has bankrupted herself and her family based on what is going forward if they place criminal charges for her.
Yeah,
and she just it was just ridiculous for her to do. And again, we do not know what was going on. Maybe there is a mental issue or something else that's going on, and hopefully she'll be evaluated. But she really has just bankrupted herself and her family on that foolishness.
Yeah. And the whole level of trust thing is out the door. I mean, the family is asking for prayers and all of that. But let me tell you something. When you put out a request for prayers, just let me say this, because because that's what they asked for. So we're gonna touch on it just a little bit. And I'm not going to get churchy, but I will say this. When you ask for prayers, ladies and gentlemen, please understand it's more than just, 2 words to the man upstairs, blah, blah, blah. You have to be specific. Okay? So when you're saying prayers for her, what type of prayers are we saying? Are we saying, God help her out with her mental issues? Are we saying, help the family to mend back together their trust to one another, different things like that? If it's one clichéist thing that I know that we all do on social media is how they say, oh my gosh, we just got to finish watching the show about it where the Queen, I was like, prayers, sorrows, prayers, Queen Charlotte. Yeah. That's very general, guys.
Oh, well, you've been watching that?
Oh man, yeah, that's my show.
I watched the entire season.
Yes, absolutely. The whole prayers and sorrows. Let's be specific and let's be sincere. Other than that, let's just make our statements and do whatever. Because that's where all this whole cliche and you get people going off on a whole nother rant about something else that don't even have nothing to do with the issue at hand. We need to get back to being sincere. That's what I'm saying. We need to get back to just being sincere. And the whole thoughts and prayers and stuff. Okay, it's nice to say. Just say, y'all, I'm sorry, forgive me. End it right there.
Yeah.
And expect, and
yeah, because
so
if they're gonna pray for you, they're already gonna pray for you.
Right, because the people that are already doing it.
Right, exactly. So changing up gears a little bit, over the time we've been gone, and even over the last year now, we know that the Supreme Court rolled back the whole Roe versus Wade with the Dobbs decision, basically taking away a federally protected policy that had been in place for nearly 50 years, giving women the right to an abortion. Now, before I get into any more of that, I want you guys to know, as an exclusive tonight, only on Head to Head with Brian Parker, I, by myself, have figured out the solution to abortion, gay marriage, and nouns, pronouns, and lesbian, bisexual, gay, transsexual, all of that too. I figured it out. And for the low cost of $0, I'm going to tell you what I figured out. I'm not gonna, and you don't even have to pay for shipping and handling. It's not going to appear on your card as my OnlyFans or anything. Listen, I figured it out, y'all. Lori, I was thinking about it for so long while I was in the bathroom, and it came to me. Between all the pushing and everything else that I was doing, it finally came to me.
Water, boy. You need water.
Oh, boy, water. Well, y'all ever just sat in the bathroom sometimes and you just have to take all your clothes off? That's a whole nother thing, though. You just gotta everything just gotta hang out and breathe real good. like you just pulling in power from the heavens to just anyway. But so I had that moment, Lori, and I figured out the answer to abortion. Would you like to hear it? If you feel in your heart and you feel that your God or whomever has convicted you that abortion is wrong, homosexuality is wrong, use of pronouns is wrong, all of these things, all these things are wrong. Here's the answer. Don't do it. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
If you think abortion is wrong, when you get pregnant, don't have one. If you think two men
Brian,
slapping cheeks is wrong, then, and you're a dude, there are plenty of females. Well, I'm not going to say that. There are plenty of females out there. I don't know if any will want to be with you. But that's
right.
not the issue. If you think that people that want to be identified as a man, but they were born as a woman and they prefer you to call them he instead of she, is too much, then don't interact with people like that. But don't disrespect them by misgendering people. Understand that just as there's a difference between weather and climate, there's a difference between sex and gender. So when you say that God created two sexes, then maybe that's true when you say male and female, because we recognize those as assigned sex. Gender is a totally different thing. Gender has nothing to do with sex, but it is the same mentality. So if you are one of those that get riled up by abortion and you think that your religious beliefs should be the way that everybody lives their life, you need to go somewhere with that. That's what the Supreme Court basically did. And here's the funny part, Lori. They said, well, it's not that we say that abortion should be outlawed. We just think the states should decide individually. So one state may say it's cool, another state may say it's not. And what we already knew was going to happen, CJ, was that, okay, now that you take that away, what other rights are going to be on the table? Is it going to be gay marriage? Are they going to repeal that back where they're going to basically void gay marriage? Is it going to be other rights that are going to be rolled back? Is it interracial marriage that they're coming for next? And people go, oh, Brian, that's just hyperbole. Y'all just throwing that out there because you're just trying to get people riled up and stuff like that, which is straight projection, especially from the right, because all of their messages are always about scaring the crap out of you. But I digress. That, okay, well, it is going in that direction, because now what's on the table, trying to ban, not only leave it up to the states, but a lot of these states, when you look at the polls nationwide, abortion is still popular. There's more support for it than against it. So what happens? Well, if you go to the states like Kansas tried to do and put it on the ballot, they got rejected. So other legislatures in red states have decided, you know what? We can't put this on the ballot because these people gonna have our asses. So what we're gonna do is we just gonna pass it as straight legislation and not give them the opportunity to vote on it. If you really want to leave it to the states, have the people vote on it as a ballot measure. If you really want to say we're going to give the people of the state the right to make the decision, put it on the damn ballot. But they won't do that because they know it will fail.
Right.
So that's what they're doing in Ohio.
Yes.
That's what they're doing in Ohio. Okay. It has been placed on as an agenda item for vote. And
but Laura, you know what these sneaky bastards are trying to do? In Ohio, right now, if it's on the ballot, it passes with a simple majority. So basically 50.1% is a majority and it passes. These sneaky bastards are trying to turn it into a super majority where it has to be 60% across that threshold. So if it doesn't pass with a 60%, then it doesn't pass. So if they say, no, we want to keep abortion, but only 55% of us agree, even though that would go right now, that would not pass if they get their way and change the rules. So instead of trying
of course they're moving the goalposts. Of course they're moving the goalposts. Listen, in a sense, Brian, and I know that everybody isn't faith believers, Christian believers, and I know that. But some things you just can't avoid if you are familiar with the Bible. All of this stuff is just coming round circle. And if you ever paid attention to even just someone telling you the stories of these things that are to be, it was never to nothing to make you scared or fear any of those things. all of this stuff is just the Bible coming to fruition, guys. Nothing that happens today should ever be a surprise. And then if you paid attention, even when we were half the ages that we were, from the ages that we are now, you saw this stuff coming. You saw this stuff coming. So what am I trying to say? Where church versus state and a lot of things, where back in our day, churches or the state didn't mess with anything that the churches had something to do with, and blah blah blah, whatever. And people just automatically assume, like whenever I went into the Navy, people just automatically assumed that if I was to vote or whatever the case may be, I was automatically going to be a Republican. Well, that's what conservatives, that's how they still look at this country. Okay? They still look at this country as if everybody is still with the mindset of, oh, what's those people called? Oh my God. Thank you, evangelicals. But everybody isn't.
Right.
Under the umbrella of Christianity, there's so many branches of it till it ain't funny. So even amongst the Christians themselves, so to speak, don't even agree with everything across the board and about, this belief versus that belief, due to whatever, like how you said before, Brian, due to whatever makes you comfortable or whatever you are convicted of or whatever the case may be. But now they've turned this into politics, which is something that should have never happened.
Nope.
Because if you simply go by this right here.
Was that Mayflower menu?
No, sir. I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but this is the American Constitution of the United States. This is your Bill of Rights. These are your amendments.
Oh, okay.
I just so happen to have a printout.
Very cool.
Of and it breaks down in layman's terms the 27 amendments. That's basically what they're going after now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a domino effect.
Yeah, they're going after the ones they don't like.
Right, because the ones that they don't like is the one that actually benefits the black ones and the disenfranchised. Okay? And it's truly going to become the land of the have and have-nots. Speaking of have and have-nots, did you guys catch the news that the same town that Miss Brianna was murdered in, the same city?
Yeah, the DOJ just announced they're opening up an investigation into the police department.
Well, they just hired their very first black female chief of police there.
Okay.
Now,
yes, they did. Yep.
At first, when I first heard it, I just, my wife and I, we heard it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was like, yes. But then at the same time I said yes, I'm like, I had to hit the brakes. Why am I celebrating? We don't know what this black female is going to do, because for all I know, she could be another Clarence Thomas
or Tim Scott.
Yeah, exactly. So just because you're putting someone black in a place that has never been before in a position of power, authority, or notoriety, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden things are going to change.
Yep.
It could also be that she could be put there as a puppet, so that we can say, oh, well, we got a black person there. Well, yeah, you did that. But it doesn't mean that justice is all of a sudden going to prevail there.
Yep.
Or she's going to call things right. Say it again.
No, I was going to say, so I wanted to throw in this clip that I thought it's an ad that's running out there, but it's very indicative of what could be coming down the pike. It's not hyperbole. I've got two of them actually, and I don't think that they're unrealistic at all, because Republicans have basically said, getting Roe v. Wade back was just the beginning, not the end. We're now, okay, Now it's in the hands of the states, and now the states are being even more aggressive and saying, you know what? Not only do we not want abortion, but if you live in my state, we don't even want you traveling across state lines to go get one. And we're going to sit there and pass laws that if we find anybody aiding and abetting anybody trying to get abortion across state lines, they can face criminal charges as well. Lord,
that's what I thought you was going to talk about at first.
Oh yeah, I got a clip to go with it. It's called Out of State Abortion. Lori, go ahead and play this clip.
Listen, everything's gonna be okay, right? Just let me do the talking, okay? Just
Evening, ladies. License, please. Where are you headed?
we're just out for a drive.
Headed to the border?
Oh no, we were just going up to the
Hey there. What's your name?
Grace.
Are you pregnant, Grace? Step out of the vehicle.
She does not have to.
Yes, she does.
No.
Show me your hands on the wheels, please. Grace, step out of the vehicle. On the wheel.
Grace, it's okay.
That's basically what you know what, when I see this, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about this particular movie. I cannot think of the title of the movie, but that's basically where it's going.
Handmaid's
For
Tale
real.
is where they're going with this.
Where police, people that are in authority that can take away your rights to be judge, juror, executioner, all this stuff, they can do it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I don't think that that's hyperbole at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're actually putting up laws on the books, and that there's legislation being written as we speak, where that is really what they're doing, where they're basically saying Texas already has a law where if you know of anybody trying to do anything, you can they got bounty hunters. They're turning citizens into bounty hunters. That's been on the law for almost a year now, where Greg Abbott signed that down in Texas. So these are things. And here's another clip that I just wanted to throw out there, because now that they're talking about contraception, where apparently there's somewhere in the Bible that talks about not spilling your seed, and that means you can't wear rubbers or something. And you just
God. Okay, man.
So, Lord, play this clip, and we can see CJ on the other side.
Do you have a condom?
Yeah.
No!
Sorry, you can't use those.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning birth control.
This is our decision, not yours. Get out of our bedroom.
I won the last election. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to watch and make sure you don't do anything illegal.
Oh, wow.
And you want to know what the funny part was? He didn't have a problem with the fact that they was about to start slapping cheeks, and they may not even be married, because they used to be the party of family values. But, you know, Donald Trump, whatever. And so it's not the fact that they were about to slap cheeks, but he wanted to make sure they raw dogged it as much as possible, and that if you get pregnant, then there's another white baby that's going to be on the face of the earth.
Bruh, listen, because you know how to try to touch my buttons when it comes to the Bible, bro. Ain't nowhere in the Bible does it says anything about that crap. Listen, this is why we suffer. This is why we suffer, because we lack understanding. People this is what I teach my children even now. Take something as simple as an old cliche is. I'm gonna tell you two of them right now. Two cliches sayings that are very popular amongst Christian people. Mm-hmm. One, the truth will set you free. Ain't nowhere in the Bible does it says anything about that. Okay. Oh, the Bible said, "Come as you are." Nowhere in the Bible does it says that. We need to stop regurgitating. We need to stop regurgitating something that we heard some other person said a long time ago, and start actually doing the reading and getting the understanding for yourself.
I'll give you a perfect one. Money
What's
is
that?
the root of all. Money is the root of all.
And money is the root of all evil. No. Okay,
it's
so let me go ahead. So let me go ahead. So let me go ahead and address those three. No, it's the love of money.
Love money. Yep.
Okay. And two, the truth won't set you free. The truth will make you free. And what was the other one I said? Help me, baby. What was it? Oh, come as you are. No.
Yeah.
It was talking about your mental state of mind, where you are in your emotion, in your head, in your place. The church is a hospital. It's for the sick. You come as you are.
Because the interpretation that I've seen at the house of prayer is you come into the house of prayer as you are, but you already wearing clothes to go to the Excelsior in.
Yeah, exactly. So we take this as a culture of people, and we say these things over and over as an excuse to continue in our mess. And the whole thing about it is that whenever you do stuff like that, it enrages people like myself, because I'm saying you're hiding behind the Christian banner. You're hiding behind the Bible banner, and you are confusing the people. And there's a warning for you. There's a warning for you false preachers, for you false teachers, for you people that claim y'all know so much about the Bible and all this stuff. The Bible says this about y'all: woe to the ones that lead my sheep astray.
I was about to say that. Yep.
Woe unto the ones that lead my people astray. Shut up. That is my message to you today. Shut up.
And you know what, CJ? I will even say this. If that's what you really believe, if those are your convictions, I'm not.
You don't do it. Like how you said, you don't do it.
That's why I started out that way, because as long as that's something that you want to believe and you're convicted by that, that's okay. It's not really okay, but it's okay because you believe. If you want to believe that the earth is flat, I'm not going to sit there and spend an ounce of my energy trying to explain to you why it's not. But you can't start passing laws and legislation based on the fact that, well, ships can only go so far, because if they don't, they're going to fall into space. Or planes can only fly from this end to this end, because if they don't, they'll run into the moon. We don't want to sit there and regulate people based on our interpretations and our convictions. And we still see people, CJ, that when they go to these rallies, whether it's Trump rallies or anything else, and they talk to these people, and they'll trip them up and they'll say, so is America a Christian nation? And without hesitation, they say yes. It was built on Christianity. Which tells you that people have not read the Constitution. They have been told that it's in the Constitution. When you throw up the whole thing about church, the separation of church and state, they have no idea what the hell you're talking about, because people will rather you tell them what something says than to go read it for themselves. But these will be the same people that when COVID came will tell you that they go on the internet and they do their own homework when your ass didn't do no homework when you was in school.
Exactly.
Now you're doing your own homework as if you know how to go about doing your own homework. No, man, just like you always had other people telling you that the Bible says this, the Bible says that, and this says this, and this says that. But when it came to certain things, they're like, oh, no, I don't believe none of that stuff. I do my own research. You ain't never even walked to a damn library. You can't even spell library. Now let's do your own research. I'm sorry, Lori. What was you saying?
Nope, I just agree. I was just looking at the time.
Oh yeah, I know the time. The time is the time. But I just buttoned up with those clips are very, very close to the things that are definitely going down. But as Lori said, we are close to our end time, and we're going to close it off with our favorite section of the day, which is what I don't like is. Lori, what you got?
What I don't like is I just need you to I just need somebody to do their job. If
Mhm.
if you are at a place and this is your role and this is what you're supposed to do, I just need you to do your job.
Come on, wife.
Specifically, just very quickly, I'm in the process of trying to hire for a position, and for the last 2 weeks, I have only received 46 applicants. And I get this message from the talent person saying, "Well, I just closed your requisition because you have over 120 applicants." I said, "I've only seen 46 of them." Well, he didn't upload them. So now I have 158. Thanks.
Yeah, one job, huh?
One job. Just and
One
anybody
job.
at Popeyes. Don't tell me you didn't run out of chicken. That's your only job.
That was a good one. I like that. I like that.
I might need to tell my wife that one. But anyway,
Yeah.
Sarah Parker said, I don't like self-checkout. Well, see, now I do like self-checkout.
I actually do.
I don't like waiting behind slow-ass people or having to watch two cashiers conversate about what time is your lunch, girl. Girl, I got lunch at 12. I don't give a damn what time your lunch is. Can you put this in the bag? So I like it because I can move fast with it. I know what I'm doing and things like that. What I don't like about checkouts now, or there's some self-checkouts that ask you to put down a damn tip. Who am I tipping? I got a tip for you. I got a tip. I can't say it now. Miss TNTBS said, what I don't like is someone who doesn't know my job yet tells me how to do my job. Bruh.
Amen.
Ain't that the truth? My drop here. Yeah, you know, and I always and this kind of goes back to my whole COVID thing where now to become a doctor or a scientist and all this stuff, you got to go through years and years of academia and dissertation papers and research papers and residencies a lot of times and all these things to get your credentials. Yet you let somebody walk in, ain't got but two teeth in their damn mouth, try to come in there and tell you how to do your job like they got more education than you do.
Hey, listen, I believe we can all relate to that as being professionals of each and every one of our given talents and career paths. What I was going to share with you guys was basically it's like a summary of everything that Miss T and TBS and Mama Parker was talking about. And that's just basically what I don't like is the lack of accountability from these individuals, but it's mostly like the attitude when you call them out. I'll give you an example. The self-checkout. It clearly says if you are in certain checkouts, see, that's why it pays attention to read. That's why reading is fundamental. In some checkouts, it'll say, and this, if you want to check out on this side, so many items. And this aisle, so many items. As a matter of fact, they even give you context clues now. In the Food Lion that I use, they have short counters and then they have longer counters. So they even try to even kind of clue you in with those. Those are what we call, oral clues. So just in case if you can't read, that look like that this won't fit what I'm trying to shop with. So therefore, people like me and B that are like Target shoppers, we want to go in and out. Boom, we out. Yep. Okay. You won't be holding people like me up. Okay. And especially, okay. And so this right here, and I got one more. This person right here that does this. They have a card and they do this. They do the tap, no problem. They do the swipe or they try to put it in, and then they still looking like as if they're reading a novel or something. Clearly, this person needs help. So who I have a accountability issue with is the person that's watching the self-checkout, that's looking at them suffering, and you won't help them out. That's who I don't like.
Oh yeah, they just wait.
They just clearly knows what the situation is. I mean, they are saying that they need help without saying it.
Right. It's obvious.
They're stuck.
And
Help
the
them unembarrass themselves.
The hell out of them know it too. Yeah, exactly.
And they looking at you.
Miss TNTBS says, what I don't like is when people don't listen. You can record the conversation and they will not remember what they were supposed to do. So like Lori, do your part. Like CJ, be accountable. Don't waste my time. All right. I know I'm running over, Lori, but I got this story. I got to give it to you. So this was a little bit embarrassing, but I had to go to the bathroom yesterday and I was out. And, you know, I always keep cleaning wipes with me wherever I go because I'm like, if I got to go to a convenience store, I'm going to be prepared. So I always go to Quick Trip if I ever have to do that. They normally have a pretty decent bathroom situation. So I'm in there, Lori. I'm getting all situated, then wiped everything down, then wrapped up the seat and everything. You know, ain't touching no part of this pretty black chocolate. So I'm just sitting there, Lori. I'm in a good position. This dude comes to the stall next to me, Lori. For the next 15 minutes, all I hear is no booms. I ain't hear no lows dropping, but I can hear him. He was doing it rhythmically for 15 effing minutes. Like, bro, you okay over there?
What?
Bro, when you in public and you got to go, don't grunt. Just do your business.
Why you crying?
Move the hell on. Look, now if I'm at home,
he doing something else, bro.
I'm at home and I'm
wooing
Usain and all of that. I'm in my own damn house. Don't go to no public restroom acting like even when I'm at a urinal and the dude be next to you going, what's wrong with you, bro?
No, don't
nobody want to hear that, bro.
Listen, not one time, never have you ever grunted in rhythm in something. I mean, you were doing something else other than
it was like he was a drummer and he was counting the damn beat.
Lord, I was decent with it. Lord. Come on.
and I'm just like, you know what? When you're
doing something else, that's all I'm saying.
Home, certain things we do at home, we need to keep it at home.
Keep it there.
Even if it's certain things that you do at home that you would do out in public, realize you in public. Don't be like, I take my clothes off at home sometimes when I'm in the bathroom. I ain't gonna do that at the damn Quick Trip.
No.
Get all comfortable.
No.
Because I ain't trying to touch that nasty floor. No way. But I'm just saying. So anyway, I definitely don't like that. And I'm sure some of y'all didn't like the fact that I brought it. But look, people shitting them stalls. Yeah, don't be fooling yourselves. People go to the bathroom outside their house. So if you go visit family, don't be at your family member's house sitting up in their bathroom going, So they got y'all. Just remember where you at when you do stuff, okay?
Oh my God!
Other people are listening to you like that sounds like a disaster going on over there. Anyway, before Lori cuts me off because she's doing the whole wrap it up like this is Dave Chappelle. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he, along with my co-host, Miss Lori Parker, and the one and only Mr. TNTBS, Mr. CJ Jones. We will see y'all back here live and direct next week at 7 p.m. wherever you're watching right now. Please like, share, subscribe, share this recording with everybody else. Hopefully they'll enjoy it just as much. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.